Hello and welcome to another Easy Odds football video cast. Back in the Premier League, thank God. None of this international nonsense that nobody likes. But there's not another one until June or something, is there?
It's a while. I'm sure that Everton fans would be delighted after that horrific leg break for Seamus Coleman.
Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous.
Of course, he's out of the big game of the weekend, the Merseyside derby, which is the first match on our list. So let's get stuck straight into Liverpool versus Everton. And I think Liverpool to win and both teams to score at 12-5. It's a decent price here, Jake. Everton have an absolutely horrible record in the Merseyside derby. Winless in their last 12 against Liverpool in the Premier League. So I fancy the Reds to add to their 12 home wins already this season. However, with Everton banging in the goals of late and Liverpool conceding in 6 of their last 7 home games, so they do concede at home, I think Liverpool to win and both teams to score at 12-5 is a nice price there.
Lovely. Big game. One of the biggest games in the Premier League, probably. And another one next. Burnley versus Tottenham.
It doesn't get bigger, does it?
No, it doesn't get bigger than that.
It's the Kieran Trippier derby.
Will Burnley let in a goal at home?
That's a good question, and they often don't, of course. Tom Heaton, former Bristol City legend, manages to keep plenty of clean sheets at Turf Moor, and I think it'll be another match where goals will be hard to come by. So I think under 2.5 goals here at 10-11 is a decent bet. 7 of the last 8 matches at Turf Moor have seen less than 3 goals scored. So a Tottenham side arriving in Lancashire without Harry Kane, of course, who's out through injury, looks a decent bet to finish the exact same here. Both previous matches between these two sides have finished up under 2.5 goals too, so back that at 10-11, under 2.5 goals.
Yes. Next up is Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, London derby. Who are going to go on top? Oh, obviously you'd think Chelsea would win this one.
I think Chelsea will win this one. Crystal Palace struggle for goals, and whilst Chelsea have stopped keeping clean sheets at the moment, which is really hurting my Premier League fantasy team, as I've got Azpilicueta and Courtois, but they can't seem to keep a clean sheet at the moment. They are up against a real goal-shy Crystal Palace here. They've only they've only scored 8 goals in the last 8 games, have Crystal Palace. So back the Premier League leaders to win this match and also keep a clean sheet, which will only be their 3rd in the last 8, which for them is slim pickings.
Yeah. Next up, Hull versus West Ham. Hull with obviously England star Jake Livermore in their ranks.
No, he's gone.
Oh.
He's gone to West Brom.
Okay, so anyway, Hull versus West Ham.
As has Robert Snodgrass, who's going to be playing for West Ham. So anyone backing an X-File, that's a pretty decent one.
Okay, anyway, Hull versus West Ham, Saturday 3 o'clock. Who's going to win this?
I think this will be Hull. Hull are absolutely brilliant at home at the moment. They're undefeated in 7 now at the KCOM, and that includes victories over Man United and Liverpool, so there are hardly any pushovers at home. And incredibly, their new manager, Marco Silva, hasn't lost a home match in over 3 years.
Wow.
At 38 games, that man has not lost at home.
That's a few games.
And I don't think that West Ham are going to do it. So I think Hull to win this one against a Hammer side that have won just 1 in 5. So they're out of form at the moment. Hull will love to win at home. 31-20, best price. Hull to win.
Odds against, always good. Next up, Leicester versus the Stoke. Champions League winners, Leicester, against Stoke. So what's going to happen here?
Yep, another interesting game here. Leicester to win here at 11-10, I think is a decent bet. Stoke have failed to even score a goal in their last 3 Premier League away games, whilst Leicester have won 4 on the bounce after sensationally sacking their manager, Claudio Ranieri, in a real show of player power. But it seems to have worked, and the players are getting on with the job with Craig Shakespeare, with 2 balls under his arms at all times on the sideline, are doing a real great job. So 11-10 here on Leicester to beat a Stoke side who just can't score a goal away from home. It looks a decent bet.
Yeah. Next up is Manchester United. The great Manchester United versus West Bromwich.
Against the great West Brom, you mean?
Against the even greater West Brom.
Yeah, I think the bookies have got this one wrong, Jake. I think for some reason they've got under 2.5 goals as the odds against shout, 11-10.
Okay.
I think it should be the other way around. Man United have had less than 3 goals scored in 5 of their last 7 matches in all competitions, and it's gone the same way each of the last 4 times that these two sides have met. So I don't really understand why the bookies are backing over 2.5 goals, especially with Zlatan out suspended still. I just can't understand why the bookies are giving punters the chance of a odds against shout there of under 2.5 goals. So under 2.5 goals, 11 to 10.
Another odds against one. We've had one odds on, no, 2 odds on so far, and that's 10 to 11 and 20 to 21.
Yeah.
So they barely count.
Barely count.
Watford versus Sunderland up next. That has got to be one of the biggest games I've ever seen.
Doesn't get bigger than that.
No, it doesn't.
But
in terms of,
it should be a good game based on the past history in this fixture, because both teams have scored in 6 of the last 7 matches between these two teams at Vicarage Road.
Okay.
And with Jermaine Defoe in great form for Sunderland, and of course scored for England, which was a great story after a return after a few years out. And Watford are actually netted in all but 2 of their 16 home matches this season. So you've got to fancy both teams to score here. Even money.
Next up, Southampton versus Bournemouth. Now that is a big game.
South Coast, sorry.
That really is a big game.
Huge game down on the South Coast. I actually think a draw here is a decent price at 3 to 1. Manolo Gabbiadini has been huge for Southampton since his arrival from Napoli, but he's out injured for this one. And against a Bournemouth team that are starting to find their form a little bit, they're now 3 games unbeaten. I fancy the Cherries to take a point at the St Mary's on Saturday.
Okay, that's big price as well, 3 to 1. Yep. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
100%. Next up, Swansea versus Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Swansea against Middlesbrough. Huge game down the bottom of the Premier League, of course. Early game on the Sunday, and I fancy Rudy Gestede to get a goal at 3 to 1.
Another 3 to 1.
Yeah, big price there. Swansea have conceded 63 goals in the Premier League this season, and plenty of those have come from set pieces. So they struggle to do aerial attacks. The likes of Andy Carroll scoring an absolute shed load past them earlier in the season is a real reason for me back in Rudy Gestede, because he's a very similar style player. Big, strong centre forward, likes to get on the end of crosses, and if Middlesbrough provide him with those crosses, then he will attack the ball and he will score a goal. So 3 to 1 for Rudy Gestede to score a goal. It's a decent price, especially as he scored against Man United last time out.
Yes, he did. 3 to 1 is an enormous price, that's true. But Paul Clement is the best manager ever to have lived. So,
more times.
So he's on there and I need to let in a goal. Anyway, final game we're going to be tipping is Arsenal versus Man City. Another huge game.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of big games this weekend, isn't it? Arsenal versus Man City.
And it's another 3 to 1.
It's another 3 to 1.
I love a 3 to 1.
You love 3 to 1.
Arsenal know how to only really play one way. That's an attacking style with overlapping fullbacks, and for that reason, Raheem Sterling's a decent bet to score any time. He's a great threat on the counter-attack, and he can net his 10th goal of the season at the Emirates against an Arsenal side that have conceded 11 goals in their last 4 matches.
Ooh.
So they're going to bomb forward, they're going to try and outscore Man City, but that's going to afford plenty of space in behind for the likes of Sterling and Sane. And I think that 3 to 1 on Sterling at any time is a pretty decent shout there.
Yes, it is. 3 to 1, and it's on my fantasy team, so
Happy days.
is that a good thing or a bad thing? No one knows.
There's
Anyway,
a quick fire, flown through those.
Yeah.
Tenfold for you over the weekend, starting with the huge Merseyside derby, Liverpool against Everton.
Okay, yes. That's that then. That's a tenfold to get you nicely into Barbados holiday fun. But remember to subscribe to our channel. Remember to download our app, which is new and out now. And remember to download our Grand National app if you like horse racing. All of my tips are on there. All of my video tips, written tips, they'll all be on there. And comment what you think of Ross's selections. But yeah, cheers for watching.